We think it's common knowledge that Jeff Hardy is among the best WWE, TNA, and AEW superstars. And even though he hasn't been in the WWE for 9 years, he still has a big name in all wrestling federations. Along with his brother Matt Hardy, he has also reached legendary status as part of the Hardy Boys. So sit back and relax, as in this video, we'll rank Jeff Hardy's best matches in his wrestling career. Starting off with Jeff Hardy versus Umaga at Monday Night Raw. The first match on the list of Jeff Hardy's best matches is his match with Umaga from the first Monday Night Raw in 2008. In fact, a year before, in 2007, he had one of the best fights in WWE against Umaga, and according to him, it was his most special rivalry in WWE. As for the special rivals, Jeff Hardy and Umaga had great chemistry, and it clearly showed in this match. Umaga beat Hardy repeatedly, but he couldn't keep the charismatic enigma down. Hardy was tough and had too much heart for the Samoan to put him down. He started to climb up the cage, but instead of climbing out, the daredevil hit Umaga from 20 feet away with a whisper in the wind, and the match ended with Hardy's top finish in one of his best matches. Simply sensational. Next up is TNA's No Surrender against Kurt Angle in 2010. Jeff's match against Kurt Angle at No Surrender 2010 is the first match on this list from his time in TNA. Even though he's best known for his dangerous and high-flying stunts, this match against the wrestling machine Kurt Angle gave him a chance to show off his real wrestling skills without any tricks and gimmicks. It was the semi-final of the TNA Championship Tournament. Hardy and Angle wrestled to draw in the time limit, which made it unclear who would move on to the final. Since the conditions also stated that Angle would have to quit his career if he lost, the draw probably saved his career. Phew, that was a close one. Then we have the triple threat match at 2009's Armageddon. Armageddon 2009 was finally the high point of Jeff Hardy's career. The charismatic Enigma beat Triple H and Edge to get to the top of the mountain and win the WWE Championship. Edge was the defending WWE Champion when he walked on stage, and at this point Triple H had won the world title more than once, while Jeff Hardy hadn't won one. The match really showed how far Jeff Hardy had come as a performer at the world title level. He was easily the star of the show, and we gotta give credit where it's due. Edge and Triple H did work hard to make him look good when he won. Several times it looked like he had Edge or Triple H pinned, but somehow they got out of the way, and he eventually won the match by hitting Triple H with a Swanton bomb. After the game, hit Edge with a pedigree and was in the process of pinning the champion. This win was one of his best fights. Even if it weren't for the quality of the fights in the ring, it would be worth it just to see someone who has struggled most of their career finally become the WWE champion. Next on the list features the Hardy Boys versus Young Bucks. When Matt and Jeff Hardy started their expedition of gold in 2017, not many people thought it would end with a ladder match against the Young Bucks. The Hardy Boys worked for TNA, and while they were under contract with the company, they didn't show up anywhere else. On the other hand, the Young Bucks had bad experiences with TNA in the past and liked their time in New Japan and Ring of Honor, so it was very unlikely they would sign with TNA. But when the Hardy Boys beat the Briscoes for the ROH Tag Team Championship, it set up a match that wrestling fans all over the country had been waiting for. A ladder match between the Hardy Boys and the Young Bucks. The match is just what we'd think it would be. Four men putting their lives at risk in the most dangerous way possible, and Jeff stealing the spotlight. One must see it to believe it. And let's not forget the ladder match at 2009's Extreme Rules. At Extreme Rules 2009, the so-called ladder match experts Jeff Hardy and Edge faced off in a ladder match for the Rated R Superstars World Heavyweight Championship. What made this ladder match stand out was the fact that this was the last time the two rivals were facing off against each other, and they definitely didn't disappoint. The match was undoubtedly off the charts. When the wrestlers went outside to fight, they both fell through a ladder. Edge tried to spear his opponent off a ladder in the ring, but Hardy used his twist of fate to stop him in midair. The match ended with Hardy winning the World Heavyweight Championship, but his happiness didn't last that long because CM Punk cashed in his Money in the Bank contract and took back the big gold belt. Hard luck, Hardy. Up next, Jeff Hardy versus CM Punk at SummerSlam 2009. It's easy to admit that Jeff Hardy's feud with CM Punk was one of the best feuds of his career. In easily the third best match in his career, the wrestler duo brought out the best in each other, and the fact that they were so different from each other certainly worked in their favor. 2009 SummerSlam had a TLC match that featured the Daredevil and Mr. Punk, where they both went all out in this main event. The match featured some great technical wrestling and a lethal combination combination of tables, ladders, and chairs. This showed us the brilliance of these young wrestlers. But there were, of course, a lot of big bumps, which were to be expected. But the beef, rivalry, and passion made this match feel like something spectacular. Towards the end of the match, Jeff ended his third run in WWE on a high note. And in his next to last match in WWE, he defended his World Heavyweight Championship against CM Punk, who had beaten him for the title earlier that year. And how can we forget the 2001 SmackDown Against the Game? On April 12, 2001 episode of SmackDown, Jeff Hardy had his first big match as a singles wrestler. Triple H started dirty, attacking Hardy right away before the bell rang. But the Daredevil kept going, fighting from the bottom like a real underdog and taking a lot of damage along the way, including a power slam onto the concrete. Later in the match, when Hardy went to the top rope, Triple H used referee Tim White to stop him, and after some pushing, Triple H knocked White down, giving Matt Hardy a chance to hit Triple H with a chair shot. This allowed Jeff to hit a swanton bomb and win his first singles title in WWE. As soon as the show went off the air, WWE commentator Taz declared that Hardy's career was over, but he was just getting started. And even though his title reign was short-lived, Hardy used it as a stepping stone, winning the Light Heavyweight Championship and the Hardcore Championship later in the year. Last but not least, his match against his tag team partner and brother. Jeff Hardy's second best match is also one of his most important ones. Without the final deletion, the story-driven matches that helped WWE and AEW get through the pandemic couldn't have happened at all. The final deletion was the first of its kind match that Matt Hardy came up with, and the match showed us the brothers fighting over who had the right to use the Hardy family name. As for Matt Hardy, who was going under the persona Broken, his crazy character had a funny accent and used a lot of words. Many fans believe that Broken Hardy started a revolution of pre-recorded movie-style matches that took the wrestling world by storm, and this all started with the final deletion. The match took place in Jeff Hardy's garden, of all places. There was a ring set up in his backyard, and the brothers fought it out. Jeff even jumped off a tree for extra high-flying damage. Soon they started fighting in the garden, and it all came to a head on Jeff's homemade dirt bike track, right under a big Hardy Boys logo. Jeff was about to win with a swanton bomb off the logo, but Broken Matt set it on fire, which made Jeff fall, allowing Matt to steal the pinfall from his brother. He may have lost, but Jeff's skills here are not to be forgotten. They could have easily settled the matter in court, but chose to wrestle it out like big boys. Mad respect to the Hardy Boys. And finally, we have the Hardy Boys versus Edge and Christian. The Hardys challenged Edge and Christian in the first tag team ladder match at 1999's No Mercy. A fun fact about this match and what made it crucial is that this was a significant match for all men's wrestling careers because it propelled them to the next level and made them all stars. Fans were mesmerized by the back and forth action they saw during the match. Jeff, being the daredevil he is, hit Edge with his signature move, the Swanton Bomb. And at the end of the match, Jeff pushed Edge off the ladder, ultimately giving the win to the Hardy Boys. That's all for this video. What do you think about this list? Do you have more of Jeff Hardy's best matches that you want to include in this? Let us know in the comments below. Remember, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more exciting content in the future. Thanks for watching. See you next time.